220 more employees at the apparel factory in Minuwangoda test positive for COVID-19. Investigations revealed Riyaj Badiuddin was not linked to terrorism or the April 21st attack, Minister Chamal Rajapaksa claims in Parliament. Former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe arrives at the Presidential Commission probing the April 21st attacks to testify. Trump flies back to White House after several days stay at military hospital. Good afternoon and welcome. This is Lunchtime News on TV1. I'm Jamal Ratnayaka for the Newsfirst team. On to your lead story for the day. According to Lieutenant General Shavindra Silva, the commander of the Sri Lanka Army, another 220 employees attached to the apparel factory in Minuwangoda have tested positive for COVID-19.
As of yesterday, 101 employees who worked at the garment factory tested positive for COVID-19. Accordingly, the total number of COVID-19 cases identified from the factory is at 321. Meanwhile, it has been decided to conduct the trial of inmates through video technology. The Department of Prisons said that all prisons commissioners have been instructed to make necessary arrangements in this regard. The department stated that only detainees who have the permission of the judges will be given the opportunity to hear cases through video technology after reporting the facts to the respective judges regarding the detainees. Meanwhile, prison visits in the island have been temporarily suspended from yesterday until further notice. Prison media spokesperson and Commissioner of Prisons Chandana Ekanayaka stated that the decision was taken in the view of the current situation.
101 COVID positive cases were detected yesterday from the Minuwangoda cluster. Then there were 103 cases by today morning, and yesterday we have done a number of PCR testing, more than 1000 sampling we have done, and by that we have tested 378 by today morning, and we have detected another 220 cases out of that. Then altogether there are 323 cases in this Minuwangoda cluster. The investigations are underway that we expect that there will be more cases. We are identifying all the contacts of all these patients, and that we will be quarantining these people and further expanding the PCR testing to identify more and more cases among them until this cluster is being subsidized. But here that it is very specific that this cluster, this is some sort of a relaxed cluster, unlike in the naval base Valisara or Kandakadu. These people who are working in this apparel industry, apparel factory, they were traveling into their homes in faraway place. So because of that, there is a very high risk of that spreading this disease into the community. We need the support of the community to contain this. So what we need is that all the people that who has in contact with this Brandix apparel factory should inform the local health authorities, and also that if anybody is having symptoms, we request them to come to a government hospital and get tested, that it will be helpful for the control of the disease. And also that we request from the people that this is the very nature of the COVID-19. So because of that, people's contribution to contain this or the control this is very important. Please stay at home as much as possible. Don't come into the society unnecessarily. And if you are coming to the society, please maintain your 1 meter distance with other people, and also wear face mask properly to covering your nose and mouth, and also keep your hands very clean with soap and water or alcohol containing hand sanitizer.
Dr. Jairuwan Bandara, who was the acting director of the Borella Medical Research Institute, has been removed from his post. Accordingly, Dr. Prabhat Amarasekara, who served as the deputy director of the institute, has been newly appointed to the post. When contacted, Dr. Jairuwan Bandara said that he will serve as the deputy director of the Medical Research Institute from today. Moving on, in more news, the Department for Registration of Persons has decided to temporarily suspend the one-day service of issuing national identity cards. Accordingly, the Commissioner General of the Department of Registration of Persons, Vyani Gunatilaka, said that the one-day service of issuing identity cards will not be held tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, or on the 9th. He reiterated that this decision was taken in light of the current state of the country. The Commissioner General further noted that the normal services of the department were functioning without any hindrance. In more local news, 52 people have been arrested for violating curfew laws yesterday. 12 of them were arrested during raids carried out by the police.
According to DIG Ajit Rohana, 39 people have been arrested during operations carried out yesterday from the Veyangoda area. Police say that the curfew is still in effect in Dewlapitiya, Minuwangoda and Veyangoda police areas in the Gampaha district, and it will remain in effect until further notice. According to the DIG, entering and passing through these areas will be strictly prohibited during the curfew period. Meanwhile, a person has been arrested for spreading false information about the pandemic on social media platforms. According to the police, the suspect had shared false information about the Kalubovila hospital. The suspect arrested last night is a 60-year-old resident of Vellavatta. The police further noted that he is due to be produced in court today.
In news from Parliament, according to the Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardena, 25 more copies of petitions filed at the Supreme Court regarding the 20th Amendment to the Constitution have been handed over to the Parliament earlier today.
I am pleased to inform the Parliament that I have received 25 copies of the petitions that were filed in the Supreme Court regarding the 20th Amendment Bill. With the recent COVID pandemic situation in the country, I am requesting all parliamentarians to follow the guidelines prescribed by the health authorities during the parliamentary sessions and outside. And do not allow outside visitors to visit the Parliament unless it is absolutely essential. This request goes to all parliamentary staff, media personnel and security personnel.
State Minister of Defence Chamal Rajapaksa stated in Parliament today that the statement made by the police media spokesperson regarding the brother of former Minister Rishad Badiuddin was inappropriate. The minister expressed these views in response to a question raised by Samagi Jana Balawegaya parliamentarian Chaminda Wijayasiri seeking an oral answer regarding the April 21st attacks.
Many stories are being carried on media and social media about the involvement of a brother of a former minister with regards to the April 21st attacks. Recently it was said that he was not involved in it. Is there any action being taken into these contradictory statements? Some factions say that these statements are made in order to form alliances. We expect a justifiable answer to this question. He has been released because the police didn't have sufficient evidence against him. The fact that he was released doesn't mean he is innocent. Police are conducting further investigations. They have not stopped the investigations. There's a chance of more people getting arrested in the future. Police media spokesperson told two different stories to the media. Earlier in his first statement, he said that this person is definitely involved, but now he is telling that there is no sufficient evidence to proceed. Because of that, they are releasing him. This false accusation has caused great harm to his reputation in the society. Take necessary steps to correct that first. That statement made by the police media spokesperson is inappropriate. As a police officer, he should have stated that there is an ongoing investigation. We are looking into it.
Former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today said that he was not summoned to the Security Council between the 26th of October 2018 and 21st of April 2019. The former Prime Minister testified before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the April 21st attacks earlier today. The hearing of former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe began at around 10:15 this morning. However, President's Counsel Ronald Pereira, appearing for the former Prime Minister, requested the Commission to provide him with another date for further hearing as he was not in an ideal state of health. Accordingly, the bench decided to hold further hearings of former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe on the 13th at 4 p.m. Former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe testified before the Commission of Inquiry today that he had stated that Mahinda Rajapaksa, who became the Prime Minister after the October 26, 2018 coup, had not been summoned to the Security Council meetings. In more local news, the media briefing to announce cabinet decisions was held at the Department of Government Information earlier today with the participation of Joint Cabinet spokesperson Minister Keheliya Rambukwalla. During the media briefing, journalists queried the minister regarding the latest developments with regards to COVID-19 in the country and the current political situation.
ඉදිරි පැය 48 ඉතාමත්ම තීරණාත්මකයි.
The next 48 hours are crucial. We will make relevant decisions based on further test results. Plans are in place to hold the A-level examination on the 12th of this month and the grade 5 scholarship exam on the 11th. The logistics required to hold the exam have been arranged. However, based on the PCR results we will obtain by tomorrow, the Department of Examinations will make a conclusive decision.
අමාත්‍යාංශය බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
වෛද්‍ය පරීක්ෂණ
The director of the Medical Research Institute, Dr. Jairwan Bandara, has been removed from his post this morning. Based on what grounds was this done?
කුමන පදනමක් මතද මෙතුමා අයින් කරලා තියෙන්නේ?
ඒක
That was done by the ministry. It was a decision made by the internal administration of the ministry.
ක්ෂේත්‍රය තුළ පවතින තත්ත්වයන් තුළ ගණන් තියෙන ක්‍රියාමාර්ගය.
සමාජීය මතයක්
There are talks among the society. If this trend continues, police curfew will be imposed island-wide. Has the cabinet made a decision on that, or will curfew only be imposed in certain areas?
වැඩි වුණොත් පොලිස් ඇඳිරි නීතිය දිගටම ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා නැත්නම් එම ප්‍රදේශවලට විතරක්ද ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නේ?
ඒත්
We can only act based on the reports that we receive later on.
ගන්නා වූ තීරණ වලට යටත්ව තමයි අපි කතා කරන්නේ.
මාරයියගේ ප්‍රධානී අයින් කරපු එක
According to the information we have received, the director of the Medical Research Institute was removed due to a dispute which arose regarding the purchasing of PCR test kits. Is there any sort of political influence behind this decision? It was taken at a decisive moment.
තීරණ ගැනීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් ගැටලුකාරී දේශපාලන බලපෑමක් මොකක් හරි තියෙනවද එහෙම මොකක් එතන?
කිසිම දේශපාලන
There is absolutely no political influence. That is why I said it was merely a decision made by the internal administration. It relates only to the Ministry of Health and the MRI. If there is such an issue, the minister will apprise you. Do not entangle politics into everything.
දේශපාලනයට පටලවා ගන්න එපා.
The 73-year-old premier said he had been at a meeting on Saturday with Religious Affairs Minister to discuss the country's rising number of coronavirus infections. Zulkifli tested positive 2 days later yesterday. The Prime Minister added that all his own tests so far had come out negative.
And with that, it's a wrap of Lunchtime News on TV1. In case you missed any of these stories and much more, simply log on to our award-winning website www.newsfirst.lk and also on our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Zaman Ratnayaka. Take care and have a good day.